because we are going to address any questions that you have about this particular process of the empowering therapeutic yoga. And since you've joined us in the last few weeks again, kind of come back in. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, that'd be great.
So do you have any questions? When we do this practice, we go outside of the therapeutic sun salutation. We start with the Sun Salutation A, and then we use the Sun Salutation B. Do you have any questions about those practices? You have done these in the past with me. And so what do you think?
The only questions I have, and I'll do the practice sideways so that you can watch, is positioning when I'm in downward dog, and then I'm bringing my leg forward and then going back. I always seem to have to constantly adjust to get into my position, and I'm assuming that's okay, but and I'll show you when we get to it. It's like I'm never quite like I never quite get in the right position. You know, I'm always having to like, okay, now I've got to move, you know, so that I can do a downward dog, you know, or whatever. Like that's one of the things that I've been thinking about.
So that question is a very popular one. That is actually a pretty common question that I have heard over the decades. It's an excellent question because depending on where we are in our practice, and our experience with the sun salutation, if we've seen it in a video, if we've watched someone do it, oftentimes, my opinion, and you can chime in when you have some thoughts here, is that we see someone who's been doing this for a while, and or the person who was a gymnast or a ballet dancer do it, and seems so fluid. They seem to have their hands and legs in the right position, and they just move from one position to the next, and there doesn't ever seem to be any adjusting of their hands or feet in between.
Right.
Agreed? Disagreed?
Agreed.
And so I get this question a lot, and I just got it yesterday morning after class, where a student that I'd been working with for, actually, she just finished returning back, and we used to do work, we're talking now 25 years probably, you know, somewhere around there together. And so she goes, Nydia, I still don't really get the downward, you know, can you check my downward dog? So one of my responses is, or my first response is, in our Therapeutic Astanga Method approach, encourage the adjusting. Because what it tells me is that you're really thinking about where your body is in space. It's not wrong, it's not inappropriate, it's actually a really good practice. Depending on how we go and how often we do this, eventually, and I'll go to my own personal experience and also observations of others, your body will learn exactly where it needs to be as you move through making that kind of a flowing sun salutation. But I will also tell you that I've been doing this for a long time, and I shift also. Sometimes I've kind of got it, and other days I'm just not, you know, it just doesn't feel right. I find myself in that, and so I change it. Does that make any sense?
It does. It makes absolute sense. Yes.
So to address that, then, this is the most common place. When we inhale, we exhale, we inhale. Right here, inhale and exhale. When we come down this area here to this area here, see, already, depending on where our hands landed, they really benefit, for the majority of us, and everyone's different because bodies are different, but they tend to be benefited by having the hands right at your rib cage. So that if they're up here near my chest, alongside my chest, then I move into up dog, which is a very common thing that I'll see. Then when I move into down dog, if I keep my hands where they are, I might feel really long here.
That's exactly it.
And not exactly stable. And I tend to then go, and then I feel like I'm in a better place. Never matters if the heels touch the mat, but then it's like, okay, here I am. So let's take a look. And that's why I recommend the half plank.
Yes.
Putting the knees down so that when we do, let's see, forward bend, inhale, look forward, hands down, step back, shift the body forward. You see how I've shifted my body forward? Putting the knees down makes it easier to be there because this is tough on the wrist.
Sure.
Especially for those of us who do a lot of computerizing. So we've got to feel and find that comfort. Hand, I like half plank, so that then when I drop down and I land, my hands are next to my ribs. I'm close to, it's not about perfection, 90 degrees of an angle at my wrist and forearm. Then from that position, I can, and check it out, Julie, this is the other thing that happens when I inhale, I don't just lift up this way, but rather and I'm going to over exaggerate, I pull myself forward and I've actually moved a little more forward. Can you see that angle?
Yes.
That's different than if I just went here. And when I do that, I've already pulled my body forward. I'm going to really over exaggerate so that when I curl my toes under, I'm actually closer than had I not done that.
Yes, that is it. You nailed it. That is exactly, it's always from plank. When I'm in plank or half plank, my downward dog's too long.
And so so it's not a bad thing or a wrong thing, but you're feeling it, which is an excellent thing. That's really good because you can feel it. Something doesn't feel stable. I don't feel supported here. And so then you make the adjustment, which is right on target. Nothing wrong with that. As the wrist, hands, shoulder girdle, the rest of the body is ready, then we begin to work those little things in. So let's do Sun Salutation A. We're gonna go a little bit slower, possibly as long as it's not excruciating. Because it can be a little like, enough, get me out of this position. All right. So as you're standing tall and standing mountain, let's begin with the sound of Om. All righty. Here we go. Inhale, reach the arms skyward. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lengthen the front side body. Exhale, check where you place the hands. Step back to high plank. Let's go to half plank and check that you are already slightly forward. Hold on, come back up. Hold, I didn't say hold, so fair game. Push, check to see that your shoulders are slightly good forward. And now as we come down, bend the elbows, slow lower, thighs, belly, chest, good. Point the toes. Now, as you get ready, we're going to inhale, and I want you to push into the mat and pull yourself gently forward as you pull up, pull up. We're going to go for it. We're going up. I know we usually do our half little. Good. Now bend the hips, bend the knees, give them a real big bend. Good. Bend, 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 bend. Curl the toes under. Push the floor away. Down dog. How does that feel?
Much better.
Does it still feel long?
I had to adjust just a tiny bit, but it was much better than it normally is.
Okay, bend the knees, feet to hands. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, sweep up. Standing mountain, arms overhead. Exhale. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, lengthen the front side body. Exhale, put the hands down. Okay, freeze. Notice where your hands are. They are slightly more forward than mine are. Can they come closer? Yeah, there you go. All right, that feels a little weird. Yes or no?
It feels fine.
Okay, so that's one other adjustment that we're going to make. When your hands came down, they were in the therapeutic sun salutation position.
Mhm.
Now we're going in a Sun Salutation A position, and if you tolerate it, hands are closer to your feet. Push into the mat, step your feet back, find your high plank, shift your body forward, move into half plank, knees down, bend the elbows, slow lower. Oh, listen carefully. Okay, how was that?
Yeah. Harder.
Now, okay, yes, because we've changed the alignment there. Let's do our small cobra. Inhale, cobra, and exhale, hold. Kind of get the idea. Inhale, up dog. Push into the hands, kind of like you were pulling your body forward. Good. Curl the toes under, bend the hips, bend the knees. Shift into your downward dog. Let me see it. Make the adjustments as you need to. Remember, you're working on this, so it doesn't have to be. If it needs it, you use it. Breathe. Hold. And then when you're ready, inhale, feet to hands. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Inhaling and then exhaling, drop the head down. And inhale, sweep all the way up. And release. Take a wrist circle. How did that feel?
So that was good. There was still a small amount of adjustment, but it was minute. So I'm assuming that as I get stronger and more flexible in the shoulders,
that you'll feel it change. Remember, the adjustments are not wrong. They are part of, my opinion, part of you listening to your body and honoring it, saying, okay, wait, I don't feel stable here. Something's not exactly, I'm not as comfortable as I can be. Adjust. Yay.
okay.
But those little things. So let's go do it again, and I'm going to cue in on the areas where we are making a little bit of a difference. Okay, here we go. Standing mountain. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward bend, hands to shin. Inhale, extend the front side body. Here's that place. Exhale, hands closer to the feet than they usually are. Step back. When you do the high plank, you're already up and over. Good. Bend the knees, half plank. Okay, right there. When those knees bend, press your hips forward. Shift your body. Yeah, there it is. Okay, and bend the elbows, drop down. Oh, that's a little bit of a different place for you. Agree, disagree?
Very much agree. I'm normally here.
Yes. Yes.
This is a good 2 inches back.
Yes.
Okay.
But that's what's going to possibly, now here we go. Let's do the little cobra, just a little lift. Inhale and exhale, hold, just to get you ready. There's a reason why I do that little cobra. One, it's to kind of warm us for extension. Then we do it on the second one. But two, it's so that you can say, okay, do I feel good here? Where are my hands? Okay, they feel good. Now, when you push into the mat, we're going to pull your body forward. Inhale, up dog. And my hips, my thighs, my legs actually moved a little bit when I did that. Now I bend the hips, bend the knees, curl the toes under, down dog.
That's it.
Breathe. Ah, interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Breathe. So Feel that weight even between the ball of the hand and the heel of the hand. Breathe. Let your gaze look beyond you. Inhaling and exhaling. And then when you're ready, walk the feet towards the hands. Inhaling, look forward, exhale, drop the head down. And inhale, sweep all the way up. And exhale and release. Circle the wrist for a moment because now we're asking your wrists and hands to do more.
Mm-hmm.
And in that asking, okay, so now questions about what you just did.